king of the Londons. All right, tell me, Nubia Prince, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah,
Nubia, what's going on? You're welcome.
good evening, the Dawn. It's a pleasure to be here. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's talk more like we used to do.
All right.
Yeah, if I'm to butt in on that discussion, who is the king of London? Of course, Arsenal. And I'm not just saying this because I support Arsenal, but with verifiable facts. If you ask an average Chelsea fan, they'll tell you, oh, does Arsenal have Champions League titles? As if that's the only title that exists. When it comes to Premier League, Arsenal have far more titles than Chelsea. When it comes to FA Cup, Arsenal have far more titles than Chelsea. When it comes to Community Shield, Arsenal have far more titles than Chelsea. Overall titles, Arsenal have far more titles than Chelsea, So the only way you can say, oh, Chelsea have actually edged Arsenal is, okay, Chelsea have European titles, Champions League, and of course, World Club Championship. But of course, in terms of quality, maybe the edge, but in terms of quantity, Arsenal edges it. And of course, Arsenal never went 50 years without, the Premier League title. That happened to Chelsea. And when you look at the quality of players, when you look at the quality of stars that have actually gone through both clubs, you will know Arsenal definitely edges. So when you are talking about King of London, you shouldn't look beyond Arsenal. When, of course, Chelsea can battle for the second spot with the like of Spurs, West Ham, Brentford, those sort of. But the outright King of London, no doubt, Arsenal are the undisputed, kings of London.
Oh my goodness! Please drop your comment. Do you agree with Nubian Prince? I tell you, Nubian Prince is absolutely an Arsenal fan. Breathing Arsenal, feeling Arsenal anytime, any day. But I'm going to bring on this lady, the Iron Lady of ISTV. Margaret, are you ready? Talk to me, Margaret. You are live. We are talking about this quick debate. Who do you think is the King of London? I know exactly you're a Manchester United fan, but talk to me. Who do you think is the King of London? Arsenal or Chelsea? You're welcome onto this show, Margaret. Talk to me.
Thank you, the Don.
Yeah.
Thank you, the Don. Good evening, the Don. Good evening, Nubian Prince. Good evening, Robbie. Oh, wow. Now, I'm going to jump into this debate. It's actually between two rival clubs, two clubs that are not my club, yeah. But definitely, as a Man United fan, I'm going to be neutral and I will say nothing but the truth. Nothing but the truth. We all know there is no debate about this when it comes to these two clubs. There is no debate about who is the king of London. Of course, it's Arsenal. They are the undisputed kings of London. Wow. Let me tell you, they are unbeaten in either in London derbies, either in 10 or over 10 London derbies. If I actually get it right. Okay. When it comes to title, you give it to Arsenal. 13 titles, 14 FA Cups, 2 EFL, 16 Community Shields, compared to Chelsea of 6 titles, 8 FA Cups, 4 Community Shield. There is nothing to debate about that one. Let's leave Champions League, like Nubian Prince said. We're not talking about Europe here. We're talking about the city, London, who is the king, and it's definitely Arsenal. And then Arsenal, they have actually collected the most points from London derbies. They have. And in all the London clubs, Arsenal have the overall best Premier League record out of all of them. So I give it to Arsenal anytime, any day.
Oh my goodness, she's giving it to Arsenal anytime, any day. That's Margaret talking to me. He says, she says, or she said, or anyhow she's going to talk about tonight. King of London is Arsenal. But I'm going to welcome this man. He's not going to agree. He's not going to say. He's not going to well. I'm telling you, his name is Prof. I call him Prof. We call him Prof. He's absolutely a Chelsea fan. I'm telling you, welcome, Prof. Welcome to the show. What's going on, bro? Who is the King of London? Talk to me, Prof. Too much. Yeah, welcome, bro. Yeah, the King of London.
I don't know. Should I dive in straight to the debate?
Straight up, let's do this. Come on.
I mean,
yes.
Funny debate. The debate just took me back to when Chelsea beat Manchester City in 2021 Champions League final. After that match, I, as usual, I was surfing through my internet and I got on Arsenal AFTV page. And I'm sure the Arsenal fans here, the strong ones, we know AFTV, that's their number one fan page. And the owner of it, Don Robbie, alluded that it's over. He said it with his mouth. I have videos. It's over. Chelsea are the kings of London, having won 2 Champions League. So for me, this is not a debate, but just for the sake of the debate, I'll just talk about it. Look, social media following, Chelsea beat Arsenal hands down. At some point in 2023, Arsenal have 93.7 million following. Chelsea have 118.9 million followers all over across social media. So that shows you that they are not mates. Now, talking about trophies, when we make this argument, Arsenal fans, they go back to before 1950 when football was played with I don't know how to call it, the pancake football. That's when they go back to talking about that time. And if you make that as a yardstick, you can also say Sunderland has about 6 league titles as well. So can you open your mouth and say Sunderland is a bigger club than Chelsea? You can't. Can you say Aston Villa is a bigger club than Chelsea? You can't. So you can't talk about 1950. And a lot of Arsenal trophies, they have 40. I think they have 41 trophies in total. I think Chelsea has about 38 or something thereabout. It's not too far off. But if you add, if you remove community shields is a lot. Arsenal fans they used to add that community shield. It's community shield that makes their trophy so much. If you take out the community shield, there is no much between 2 teams. And then look, not even one. We're talking about 2 Champions Leagues, 2 Europa Cups. It is Chelsea are way ahead of Arsenal. Way ahead of Arsenal. They've won more Premier League titles than Arsenal. We're not talking about league titles now. Premier League titles, they've won more. So I think there's no comparison. Chelsea are the kings of London, no doubt about it. No doubt.
Oh my goodness!
Prof,
Yes.
Prof, are you using followers?
Can I say something?
Oh yeah, what do you want to say, Nubia Praise?
How can you say that we should not count community shield when you are counting the overall titles of Chelsea? Don't you count community shield? You are talking you are talking about 1950 Premier League titles. So the Liverpool that you say has won 19 titles, they won all the 19 titles when it became Premier League, Abby. The Manchester United that won 20 league titles, they won everything in the Premier League era. So what are you saying? See, okay, let me ask you a question. How old is Chelsea? Did Chelsea start its existence in 2004? Chelsea started, when you say how old is Chelsea, Chelsea is well over 100 years. So they counted your existence way back. So if you guys have been sleeping way back and snoring, it's nobody's fault. You just woke up in 2004. So it's nobody's fault. Why you were done dance? Why your mates were making while the sun was shining? You guys were sleeping and snoring. You now woke up in 2004 and you now think life started in 2004. Sorry, life didn't start in 2004. Life started when your club was formed. So the fact that you guys did not make a while the sun was shining, the fact that you guys were snoring while other people were running, that's your problem. As far as we are concerned, Arsenal have way more titles than you. And yes, nobody can deprive Sunderland of the 6 league titles they have won. The same way nobody can deny Aston Villa of the European League titles they have won too. They have it in their record. Whether they have relegated is nobody's business. Real Madrid has well over how many Champions League titles? 13. They won 6. I think they won 4. When back then, are they denying them? Why can't they say, okay, they've only won 9? Why are they counting they won when it was European Cup? Please, let's don't give that excuse, please.
Oh my goodness.
It is Arsenal have 13 league titles, Chelsea have 6. It's not our business that you guys woke up in 2004. Nobody's business. If you like sleep again and wake up in 2019, now your problem.
Prof, what do you have to say to that? Do you have any other thing to say towards this before we move on? Margaret.
This is not.
Yes, I have.
I'll just let them have it. It's not an argument at all. Chelsea are way too big than them. It's not an argument. They are small boys.
Oh my goodness.
It's not. Stop. Be done.
Yes.
Be done. Please, it actually baffles me that Prof is actually using social media followers to judge who is the king in London. I believe that before you judge a team about how big they are, it has to do with the number of trophies, the number of titles that they have won. And then we're talking about a national team here that didn't need a sugar daddy to come and rescue them and make them who they are after how many years. But Chelsea, a sugar daddy from Russia came in, got them, took
Hey,
them out from nowhere, and then 50 years after, they won their first. They won
hey,
a title. Finally, they won. In fact, it wasn't even a Premier League. It was the Carabao Cup. Something to at least tell them welcome to, just welcome. And then you're talking about an Arsenal team that have been stable, the only team that have not gone on for relegation. And you're coming out here to say that Chelsea are bigger in what terms? Bigger, if
hey,
without the Abramovich money, Chelsea wouldn't have been anywhere. I'm sure that by now we would have known Chelsea. Come on, we
hey.
all agree. There's no debate about it. Arsenal are the king of London anytime,
All right.
any day.
All right, the king of London. They are still insisting. It's Arsenal. Hey, he's in the building. It's a Manchester United. Oh, sorry. It's an Arsenal fan. Talk to me. What you got to say? Are you saying the king of London should be gone to Chelsea? Talk to me.
Yeah, it's good to be on the show, man.
All right, bro. Talk to me. Talk
Good
to
to be
me.
on the
This is the
show.
argument right now. Are you saying the king of London is Chelsea? Oh, sorry, it's Arsenal.
Yeah, when I saw this stuff that you shared, what came to my mind was, oh, here we go again.
Oh my
But
goodness.
different opinions, different assertions. Some would say Chelsea are the king of London, and some would say Arsenal are the king of London. And if you want to look at the basis of which the other divide, say that Chelsea are the king of London, is what they've achieved since 2005 up until this time. So 2005 up until 2021. Should we say 2021, 2022? 17 years. It was a period where they transcended from nothing to something. And they won major trophies. And like Margaret said, it was due to financial money being pumped in to a club. And it was a time we saw where someone in England, majorly in England, where a billionaire buys a club and transforms the club from zero to something. And that is when everybody started following that trend. We saw Man City as well, and also Newcastle too has followed suit. But in the sense of the comparison between these two teams, if you want to look at it face value, what defines a king? The king is someone who dominates, right? Someone who consistency, right?
Yes.
And I would say both teams have been consistent for the past, if I were to do the subset of the past 17 or 18 years, both of them have been consistent at the top level. But it's just that one has been favorable in terms of winning major honors, and winning those major honors didn't come at zero cost. It came at a lot of money. And funny enough, the funny analysis to this was at the time Abramovich took over Chelsea was at the same time. Was it 2 years after, or a year after, or few seasons after, if my staff served me right, was when Kroenke took on the major shareholder in Arsenal, because the way Arsenal was run, it was in terms of percentage ownership and all that. So he took a large chunk of percentage ownership. But at that time, Chelsea was on the upward curve. But Kroenke, when he took over major shares, left Arsenal at a stagnant point. For whatever reason, maybe because of Arsene Wenger being there, and Arsene Wenger's philosophy of not wanting to spend or spill the cash, or wanting to groom players. And I think everything fizzled out for Arsenal at that time, especially that year when we moved to the Emirates Stadium. I think that was when things plummeted, if we were to look at it analytically. But now Kroenke is still the owner, and now you have a manager who has come in the last 3.5 seasons, and now you're spilling the cash.
Yeah.
In Arteta's 3.5 years of being the manager, he has spent almost over £600 million.
Yeah.
And bought close to 25 players. If we look at the number of players Arsene Wenger, or the money Arsene Wenger has spent while he was the manager for 22 years. I don't think he's equal to the amount of money Arteta have spent. I don't know. I don't have that stat here. But, or maybe he has spent a little over, or maybe they are equal. So that's the analysis I want to bring here. So if the manager that Arsenal had at that time, when Kroenke took over major shares, was a manager who was ready to, who was determined to tell the owner to spend big cash, possibly.
Yeah.
Arsenal too would have gone toe to toe with Chelsea during these subset years I've mentioned. But we cannot take out history. Before 2005, there was football, there was Arsenal, there was Chelsea. And Arsenal was dominated Chelsea in that side of London. Because I keep telling Chelsea fans, whether they like it or not, you cannot take out history. You cannot just focus on only from 2005 and focus up to now and say, yes, because of that, we're better than you. It has to be holistically. It has to be with a dead eyes view. So from 2005, there was Arsenal, there was Chelsea. How did the two meet? It was like the distance was like Lagos to Kano, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of laurels won, in terms of achievement. But from that 2005, Chelsea measured up, won, and like I mentioned, due to the fact that money was spilled in. And now where we are, it seems the scale has changed. Arsenal is on the upward curve, and Chelsea seems to be stagnant. Because Ibrahimovic, because of political reason, is no more the owner of Chelsea. So it swings both ways. But we can't take away the fact what Chelsea have achieved in the last 17 years. They've been phenomenal. They won the Champions League, won the Europa League, won the FA Cup. But the argument is they want to come with the narrative of, have you won the Champions League yet? But I beg to differ, and I ask a question that when you want to determine who is the most wealthiest person on earth, do you look at the type of cars he has in his compound or in his parkway before you determine who is the wealthiest man on earth?
Yeah.
Also, another question I pose: Man City, Manchester United. The same analogy. Man City has been in the doldrums for years. Owners came with money 2010, 2009, 2010, spilled the cash, bought players, and they've won trophies. So in the stead of Manchester, in the city of Manchester, who would you say is king? Would you say Manchester City? Because Manchester City is dominating recently. I'm sure Manchester United fans will say no, like you just said. So I've done my analysis, and everything is there for everybody to see. And I think it's just plain and simple. Arsenal has been dominating for so long, and I feel unequivocally, I think they are the king of London.
Wow, they're the king of London.
Let me just put my last piece on it.
Please, I'm just going to give you 2 minutes. I'm going to give you 2 minutes.
Yeah, quickly. I hear he has spoken well for his, for his club. But like I said, it's just easy to. You can't look. Everton has 9 league titles. Villa has 7. I bet none of them will say that those teams are bigger than Chelsea. That's where the argument fails, because Everton has 9. Villa has 7. They are not bigger than Chelsea. You have to look at it realistically. Premier League titles, Chelsea has more. There's a point where you stop counting, because look, you guys go back to before 1950. You can't even understand the way football was played then. It's been modernized, so we have to look at it. With some perspective. You know what I mean? So Chelsea, with the European Championships they have, the Europa League, the Champions League, there's no just Arsenal are playing catch up now. That's the fact. They are playing catch up. That's what I want to say. Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Quick one. Sorry, that's him.
We are not going to leave yet.
Serious, that's him logic.
You catch up against a team that is ahead of you.
Nottingham Forest, for crying out loud, have a European.
Have 2 Champions League.
Have Champions League. Aston Villa, 2. Yes. They've won a European Cup. I don't know if it's Champions League or what's it called.
I think Aston Villa have 1. Nottingham Forest 2.